Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Jayanti. If you would like to support my channel, then please like and subscribe. Also, I would request you to keep your notification bells on so that you can receive my latest videos. Today I'll be doing a special reading. Yesterday was Guru Purnima. I'm really sorry I couldn't post any video yesterday because I was having some issues with uploading my videos. So I'll be doing a special reading on Ascendant Masters because Guru Purnima talks about Ascendant Masters, it talks about our Gurus, it talks about these special beings, who have walked on this earth. They have been born as saints and basically they are enlightened beings, who have been born as saints or prophets, in this world. And after they pass away, they help us as ascendant masters, because saints are nothing else but ascendant masters, our gurus are saints who are enlightened beings, who have probably helped all of us, all over the world. We have saints all over the world, and once they pass over, or they cross over, they become ascendant masters in our life, right? So Guru Purnima is also a day wherein we worship ascendant masters, our gurus, who basically love us unconditionally. Our gurus have loved us unconditionally. I truly believe, because I too have a guru, and I truly believe that ascendant masters love you unconditionally. They can do anything for you. The amount of protection that they give you, spiritual protection that they give you, you can't even describe it. And trust me, these are the very forces who would help you in a very difficult situation in your life. Make sure that negativity is away from you, your enemies are away from you. So I think it's really a time that I want to give some tribute to the ascendant masters, to our gurus, who love us so unconditionally. Sometimes I also feel like their love is, you can't even compare it to a love of a parent, the way they love you. That is what I feel. Again, something is wrong with my throat, and I know some people don't want me to talk about gurus right now, because there's definitely a very negative movement online wherein people say that they don't need a guru in their life, and they are their guru, which is true. But I also feel, unless and until your guru introduces you to your inner guru, you can't really progress in your spiritual life. You need a spiritual guide, because the spiritual path is very difficult. It's not an easy path. And guru is like that guide, that you need. And there are certain organizations that say that you don't need a guru, which is not true. You need a guru in your life. And many people who think they don't have a guru, they do have a guru on the other side who's literally guiding them in the form of a spirit guide, spirit team from the other side. So literally everybody has a guide, someone guiding them. So I think we should respect the guru culture, and I really want to know what messages we get from ascendant masters. Yesterday the energy was beautiful, and I think Guru Purnima continues till today. That is what my mom told me. I haven't really checked, but that's what we were told, that it continues from 29th to 30th of July. So let's see what messages we get from our ascendant masters, from our gurus, who love us so unconditionally. Like, I can't even describe the kind of love that I have felt from my guru. Nothing less than a parent. If you have a missing mother, missing father in your life, that is what your guru will become for you, in your life. And they'll guide you, and they'll protect you, they'll love you, that you'll have tears in your eyes, whenever you think of them. We are a country where we have so many saints, from Mahavatar Babaji to Hera Khan Babaji, Sai Baba. There are so many ascendant masters. Gautam Buddha was born. Again, that part is in Nepal right now, Lumbini, but Buddhism also spread all over India, and probably in so many parts of the world and so many countries, So we need to respect these gurus, and let's see what messages we get from our ascendant masters. And the first card that I got is Hermit. I mean, this is the perfect card to receive. especially when you're talking about the ascendant masters. To me, this talks about somebody who's very enlightened, whenever you see the hermit card, somebody who is in touch with their inner light, and that is what gurus bring into our life. They are someone who's enlightened, they are in touch with their inner light. They are our mentors, our guides, they are our counselors. They've literally counseled us, and helped us whenever we've been stuck. And this is definitely an energy of the guru. Whenever I look at hermit, I feel, yes, this is an enlightened being, a guru, who's always there for you. And this talks about the wise old man, the hermit card. So definitely this talks about immense spiritual wisdom, enlightenment. So this is the energy that I'm picking up on, and ultimately that is what our gurus want. They want us to be enlightened so that we are free from this cycle of birth, so that we don't keep reincarnating again and again on planet Earth. And that is the energy I'm picking up on, because it's not about them being enlightened, it's about them guiding us towards enlightenment so that we are free from this cycle of birth. Once we are done with all our karmas. There are many special souls in this world, I feel. A lot of you are star seeds, a lot of you are chosen ones, you're very special. But you're stuck because you're dealing with your past life karmas at this point of time, But spiritually, you're very high ranking, Your rank is very high, Your soul is not ordinary. You may not have all the money in the world, but definitely you're someone who's spiritually having a very high rank, And your gurus feel a lot for you, and they want you to liberate. They want to liberate you from this cycle, so that you're no longer born into this existence. You're free from this karmic cycle. Yeah, the 5 of Wands energy is there. There are definitely many people who are fighting with you at this point of time. There's a lot of competition happening. This could literally talk about the spiritual warfare that you're facing. Just for being on the right path. To the path of enlightenment. Yeah. We do have 2 forces in the world, One is the light side and one is the dark side, And though we are meant to balance all these energies within us, there are also forces who are entirely on the dark side, and there are forces who are entirely on the path of light, And the liberation only comes from the light path, And I'll talk about the darkness, why the darkness is required. You just have to accept it. Accepting the darkness doesn't mean that you have to be on the dark side. You have to worship demons. It doesn't mean that, It just means that you have to accept the fact that it is part of creation, Because even the devil is created by God, Demons are created by God, So they are part of the existence, and that's never going to change. That's always going to be there. So whenever you're moving towards a higher path, what you need to realize is that even though you're on the path of the light, you have to accept the fact that these energies exist in the world. That acceptance needs to be there because it's part of creation, And that is how you accept the darkness in the world, because it's part of creation, So again, I don't want to sound like someone who's lecturing you. So let's continue with the reading. So what I see, like I said, I see a lot of spiritual warfare happening for you, because you're on this path of enlightenment, And I think that is what your ascendant masters want to tell you, that there's a lot of opposition, right now that you're facing. Maybe you're not aware about. Yeah, you're literally having to stand up for yourself, 7 of Swords energy is there. And you can see, many people are trying to attack this person, But they are asking you to really speak your truth, stand up for yourself. This is also someone who's very resilient, So they're asking you to be very resilient. Maybe they're proud of you, that you're very resilient and you're very authentic. You speak your truth. That is what I see through these cards. Let's see what other cards we get, through the Ascendant Masters, what they want to tell us. So they're really proud of the fact that you stand up for yourself and you're very authentic, and you take no shit, basically, and you tell people how things they are, as it is, you're very authentic, you won't sugarcoat things. That is what I feel. And you stand up for yourself whenever you feel it's need of the hour, that is what I see here. So let's see what all messages we get. Yeah, so the moon is reversed here, So I also feel you're definitely someone who's faced your fears. You've come out of that. Yeah, you may have faced a lot of fear in your life, and you've come out of those fears, and this also talks about speaking your truth, being fearless. You no longer fear anything. You're being fearless. You're speaking your truth. This also talks about revealing things. So you're letting people know what's in your heart, what's in your mind, what's in your soul. You're very authentic. You have nothing to hide. And I honestly feel this, when you're a good human being, you really have nothing to hide, because you're on the right path. What is there to hide? And it's very easy for you to be authentic. There are many people on social media who act authentic, but they aren't authentic. They're always hiding something. It's just a game plan for them. They're not being authentic at all. Like right now I was choking because there were forces that didn't want me to say this message. And it happens to me many times when I'm doing my reading. I suddenly get choked because evil arrows are being sent towards me. They don't want me to deliver this message, as a light worker. See, the Justice card is here. So yeah, I think Saturn energy is with you. And when I talk about Saturn energy, I'm talking about Shani Dev. I'm talking about Lord Saturn, who's the god of justice, who makes sure everything is the law of karma. Basically, he talks about the law of karma. So yeah, by doing this, you're doing the right thing. You're bringing fairness, you're bringing justice into this world. And especially in times like these where we are living, we're living in Kali Yuga. We don't have fairness, we don't have justice. People don't believe in the law of karma. They think they can get away with anything. That's the kind of energy that we have. So let's see what other cards we get. Yeah, so definitely you're being asked to follow your passion, your drive. Yeah, take inspired actions whenever you get an opportunity. Don't slow down. Go with the flow, and with the energy and vigor that you have. Follow your passion. That is what they're saying. This also talks about someone who takes immediate action. So if you feel like you're meant to do something, take those inspired action towards those things. That is what the Ascendant Masters are saying. Yeah, I think to you it has almost felt like you've been in a battleground, in a battlefield. I do feel there are days when you felt you're very exhausted, and but still you're holding your ground. This also talks about standing up for yourself, protecting yourself. Though you've been through a very tough battle, you're still standing. You may have been wounded, but you're still standing. You're healing your wounds, despite the feeling of being tired, feeling exhausted. That is what I see here. And they are really proud of you, and they want you to continue doing this. They know the battles that you faced. It's not easy. That is what the Ascendant Masters are saying. And I got the Tower card here. So you're definitely someone who's going to break the system, break many things, which are no longer serving the Mother Earth. Mother Earth is literally being abused. So many wildfires are happening, wherein all those precious herbs are being burnt, in the forest. And trust me, we have all the cure in the world. All those herbs are available in these forests, wherein you could probably have access to these herbs. Why do you think all these forests and all are being burned down? So that we lose access to all these herbs, and it doesn't serve certain industries who are profiting out of this, because once you have access to these herbs from these forests, from these trees, you'll no longer need medicine, the medicine that is being sold out in this world right now. So and like you can see, there's a lot of fire in this card. So you're definitely here to change that, break the old foundation. Literally Mother Earth is being abused, here. Yeah, and you are here to break all these things. That is what I feel. Literally the forests and all are being burnt. We are losing access to all those ancient herbs, magical herbs that are there in the forest. So this is also one of the messages that I just picked up on. Please keep in mind, I'm also channeling. Sorry friends, let's continue with the readings. So basically I had to change my camera right now because there were definitely some interruptions happening. So like I was saying that, I had to actually use a different phone right now to record my videos, because my previous phone just got stuck for some reason. So I would firstly like to apologize for all the interruptions, and let's begin with the reading, continue with the reading basically. So like I was saying, there are a lot of herbs, in nature, which are being burnt, and if we would have access to these herbs, we would literally heal. Yeah. Nature provides you everything, everything is there in nature, and that is what these ascendant masters want to tell you. All the medicines, every healing things are basically available in nature, in the form of fruits, vegetables, herbs. Nature provides you with everything, there's a cure for everything. That is what I'm trying to say. So you're definitely here to change the norm, change the things which are happening here, to shed light over things that people are not aware about, That is what I feel. So let's see what other cards we get. So I got straight away the Queen of Cups energy, So you're definitely someone who's very intuitive. Whether you're a man or a female, it doesn't really matter. But definitely someone who's very intuitive, That is what I feel. And you're literally going to bring a lot of change, in the world, through your intuition. You're someone who has a lot of empathy, a lot of compassion, especially towards Mother Earth, towards other human beings, for the collective. Really here to do something great in the world, Yeah. 5 of Coins energy is there. So this also tells me like you really feel bad for poor people, people who are not that privileged, underprivileged, who are probably lacking finances, they don't have a roof over their head, you feel bad for these people, and trust me, if you were in a position, you would help them, I do feel that you're also transmuting a lot of your past life karma, because I've got the Justice card. So this also talks about the law of karma, So if you're stuck in your life right now, there are chances you're just transmuting your past life karma, And once that aspect of your life is done, your life will take off, You'll be abundant and you'll be able to help other people, Because we too are born with a karmic baggages, Even though we are in this world, Even though you may have a very high spiritual rank, and you may be someone who's of a very high rank spiritually, And maybe you don't have that much of wealth in this physical dimension, But that doesn't change the fact what you are as a soul here on earth, So like you can see, there are these people, out in the cold, So you feel bad for people, who don't have housing facilities, or who don't have shelter, And probably one of your missions is to help these people out, build small bunkers for them, small places for them basically, so that they can live in that place until they get a job, or they have some place to sleep, so that they don't have to sleep on the streets, So you may just have this small community wherein you help people out. So some of you could have a sole purpose wherein you would be an environmentalist, And for some of you, you could literally be building, small houses, for people from your finances, So definitely all of you have like big purpose in this lifetime. Everyone has a different purpose, For me, it's different, I'm meant to guide people. In the same way, for you, it may be, helping the poor out of the street, building houses for them, and making sure that they are not sleeping on the streets, For other people, it could be, speaking for the environment, the world environment, the nature, helping Mother Earth, And that is what the Ascendant Masters are telling you, that your mission is very, very big, You're really here to make changes in the world, in your own way, Yeah, that is what I see. Yeah, like I see the 9 of Pentacles card, it's reversed. So yeah, definitely this is related to health issues, So there is a health crisis in the world, and you are here to shed light as to what to eat, what to do, those kind of things, Some of you could even become dietitians, and teach people to live better, what kind of medicines, herbs you should be having, Maybe you'll guide people, through medicine, and not the usual medicines that we use, medicines and herbs which are available in nature. So some of you could also become dietitians, because a lot of people have bad health issues. Some of you could even teach things related to fitness, related to herbs. So that is what I feel. And that could be your sole purpose, guiding people. Because trust me, your diet plays an important role when you are going to spiritually ascend, that makes a whole lot of a difference. So you are here to guide people, because these days people don't know what's good for their health, what's not good for their health, So you'll really shed light into this matter and guide people through your medicines, through your herbs, or literally be a dietitian who helps people out, That is what I feel. Yeah, the judgment card is reversed, So that is what I feel. Like, people have poor judgment in terms of the choices, food choices that they have. And there's a lot of false information online in terms of food, what we should be consuming, So you'll really shed light to that and bring clarity. And I also feel once you do these things, and people see the results, they'll start following you, So everything talks about, everything should be result oriented, Once through your guidance, when people start seeing the results, they'll start following those diets, So there's a lot of misinformation online, I feel. And that is also misguiding people, and they're making wrong choices in terms of their diet. That is what I feel. Yeah, and once they find out, that their judgment was wrong and these foods were not good for them, they're literally going to walk away from it, They're no longer going to use these foods or even entertain these foods, And trust me, like, we are such a huge population, If all of us refuse to eat certain foods, which are not good for us, the business is going to fail, and nobody's going to sell those things to you, ultimately. Because once you know that there's no market for it and people are not buying it, why will anyone sell that, So people don't understand that the power is in the masses, right? We have the power. Most of you think that people who have money have power, the elites have power. That's not true. We have power because our population is huge, We can decide for ourselves what we want to consume and what we don't want to consume, And trust me, if all of us, like, we are millions and billions of people, I don't know the world population, but I'm saying if all of us back out, and stop indulging in these kind of foods, soon there'll be no manufacturers, They'll stop producing these foods, right? So they are producing it because there are consumers, There are people who are consuming these foods. So that is what I was trying to say. So you're definitely going to bring a lot of change. And you're going to show people different paths, like the Seven of Cups is there. So wherein people thought that they have no hope left, there is no option available for them, there's no path open for them, you're going to show them that no, there are many options available for you. There are many paths available for you, and you can make the right choice for yourself, So that is what you're going to show them, And this is a beautiful energy. Definitely someone who's going to be very hardworking. That is what I see. And I'm so amazed by your soul purpose, Trust me, like, when I'm reading into these cards, I'm equally so excited, Let's see, like, what other cards we get. And then I want to directly pull out some messages from Oracle cards. Yeah, this is how you're going to defeat everything, You just have to make positive changes in your life, You don't have to fight people out, You just have to make the right choices, And you're going to end many things, That is what I feel. Come out of the energies wherein you feel kind of defeated. You don't need to feel defeated. There are beautiful things available for you. That is what I feel. So come out of these energies, Let's see what other cards we get, Imagine having access to all these beautiful herbs, Trust me, nature is so abundant, And how much that could do for humanity, That is what I feel. Yeah, the death is reversed, So definitely you're being asked to come out of these energies wherein you're feeling stuck, Yeah, and I also kind of feel like once you step into your soul purpose, you're definitely going to end certain things, So these people won't be able to thrive, because the death card is reversed, So you're going to end things and make sure that these things don't thrive, These people are going to get stuck, Because if the card is upright, it means, new beginnings, But new beginnings are not going to happen for these people, Literally, they're going to get stuck, They'll have to probably let go of these ideas because the system is not going to work the way it used to work, in terms of those fruits. That is what I feel, So, masses have power, that is what Ascendant Masters want to tell you, They're literally playing with your mind, these people, So, maybe you were also mentally attacked, This could be as worse as MK Ultra, That also I feel. Or literally attacking your mental health, yeah. And, MK Ultra is basically mind control, right? That is being done by the CIA, So probably they may have even tried this, on you. Nowadays I get to know that they are doing it through the phone and your earphones too, So limit your access to that too. But I also feel like they may be sending spiritual arrows your way, negative energies your way, so that it kind of affects your mental health, yeah. And you don't have the clarity to do the things that you want to do, yeah. Definitely to affect your foundation. That is what I feel, yeah. So that you don't have enough money, yeah. That is what this is being done for. So keep that in mind. I just want to pull out some messages from gurus, I love this particular deck, So let's see what messages we get from our Ascendant Masters, Tell us. What do you want to tell us, Ascendant Masters? Yeah, the first card I got, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. The Shekinah, sacred self. Unleash your spirit, express your gifts, and dance to the sacred rhythm of life, So yeah, definitely that is what Ascendant Masters want, They want you to unleash your spirit, like really get in touch with your spirit, your soul, and express your gifts, and dance to the sacred rhythm of life, So like go with the flow. This could literally mean that dance it out, like if you have any form of stress, just dance it out, Dance, it's just going to release everything from your body, Dance is something really spiritual. That's why Sufis used to dance, they used to twirl, So it used to really open their crown chakra. So I really feel dance is something very spiritual. And everyone should engage in that because it really connects us to our higher self. It really connects our crown chakra and our access to the higher realms, our higher self, So that is also one of the messages from the Ascendant Masters. Yeah. I can't make this up, Mahavatar Babaji, So this is the card I got, And he's saying soul expansion, This is your time for soul expansion. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connection between all things, So some of you could also, like your guru could be Mahavatar Babaji, He walks this earth. He's immortal, And he can appear and disappear, anywhere, If you go in the Himalayas, many people have encountered him, Kali Ma's energy is there, Some of you are being guided by Kali Ma, And she's telling you, face your fears, Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar, high into the sky. Some of you are also being guided by white eagle, ancestor spirits, and connect to your lineage. That is what you're being asked to. A family wound or pattern will be healed at this point of time, That is the message from the Ascendant Masters. Let's see what other cards we get. Yeah, for some of you, Archangel Michael is protecting you, And he's been your guru and your guide, And he wants you to know that you are safe. Angels stand close, to you. Surrender your concerns and allow miracles to occur, So that is what Archangel Michael wants you to know, that you're protected, you're safe, and he's always by your side, and guiding you towards the right path. Yeah. The next card that I got is Lady Portia, divine order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding, So even if you're going through any, blockages or hurdles in your path, you need to know this, that it's just happening for your higher good, So an important lesson is unfolding in that, So don't like hold back, go with the flow and do what you're meant to do. That is what I feel. Yeah, we got the Diana card here. So have like focused intention, yeah, and think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. That is what they are saying. I'll just pull out a last card and get done with the messages from the Ascendant Masters. This is already a very long video, so I want to end it here. Mother Mary's energy is there, So this is a beautiful card. Again, some of you are guided by Mother Mary, She's literally your Ascendant Master, your Guru, your Prophet, And she's saying the message is love and peace, Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace, Mother healing is possible at this point of time, So this could also literally talk about healing your relationship that you have with your mother right now, because most of us light workers are also here to heal family dynamics, So if there are certain patterns and certain issues within your family, you're meant to heal that too. So that is the message that I'm getting from the Ascendant Masters. I would also like to end the reading here, and I'll see you in my next reading. Thank you so much.